In this day, in 1536, William Tyndale, the English translator of the New Testament, is strangled and burned at the stake for heresy in Vilvoorde, France.
Welcome to What the Fuck History, a podcast where we discuss the wackiest and weirdest incidents that make us say, well, what the fuck history. I am your illiterate human textbook, Zachary.
I'm Megan, and just because I majored in this doesn't mean I know any of the stories that are going to be said tonight.
I'm Matt. It's past my bedtime, and I'm hoping one of my friends can tell me something that will put me to sleep.
I don't know what I'm going to say is going to put you to sleep, but, Matt? Mm-hmm. As you can hear it crinkling on the microphone, I have a good old-fashioned American fucking cheeseburger.
I can hear that.
I got an ice-cold beer.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about someone who's very, 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 very fucking American tonight.
Oh,
Please,
God. Are we
go
talking about
on.
Donald Trump? Because I will walk out.
No, it's not. It's not even Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
Oh, God.
It's his daughter, Alice.
Oh.
What? Oh,
Alice
how the tables have
Roosevelt.
turned.
How the tables have turned. Alice Roosevelt, the original DC troublemaker. This fucking woman, she's long dead. Rest in peace. And also very, very much born before I was, but I love her dearly. We're gonna start with this. The best way to start with the wonderful world of Alice is Alice was said. So when Alice was 15, this is like the biggest thing to talk about, and this is gonna be a little bit different of a format than my normal thing, where it's here's story, let's talk about it. Is we're gonna rapid fact some stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
So when Alice was 15,
Yeah.
and her father was the governor of New York, good old Bull Moose.
Yeah.
She was such a troublemaker that her dad and her stepmom were basically like, we're going to send you to boarding school if you don't put your shit in order. And
I
she
feel like-
responded to Teddy Roosevelt, the man who did a 90-minute speech with a bullet in his chest, and said, if you send me, I will humiliate you. I will do something that will shame you. I tell you, I will. And her parents didn't send her to boarding school.
Oh my god. Teddy Roosevelt was so threatened
so
by
here's the
little
thing.
Alice.
Yeah. So, Teddy Roosevelt, as known by history, has the biggest balls.
Yeah.
Scientifically proven, his balls are gigantic.
People have done
Imagine
studies.
the balls on 15-year-old Alice when she walks up to brass balls Teddy Roosevelt and says, I will humiliate you.
And
to
he
a point
balked.
where you just can't. And he's like, yeah, no, we'll
Yeah.
keep you here.
Literally goes up to the fucking bull moose and is like, come at me, motherfucker. And Teddy's like, okay, oh, nope, you win. Okay, oh, nope.
And then
So-
she walked away and was like, Daddy, I love you, though. You always... Like,
But Daddy,
you
I
know.
love you.
Daddy,
Yeah.
I love you.
So this is amazing. I mean, the list keeps going on. So Alice was a self-described pagan, and she dismissed Christianity in a time where Christianity was extremely predominant.
What?
As sheer voodoo.
Oh my god. I love her.
Right?
I think we're all going to walk away from this discussion with the exact same thoughts of Alice.
We're all little gay for Alice.
We're all a little gay for Alice.
I mean, wait a minute. You're the only one here
Wait,
that would be
okay.
gay.
Listen, I stand by my statement, and we're all
Yeah,
little
no,
gay
I
for
agree with your
Alice.
statement.
That's
I'm
fine.
just
I went right
clarifying.
for it. I endorsed it. Let's go. Let's keep moving forward.
Let's.
So at one point, Alice is like, so Teddy Roosevelt's now in the Oval Office. He's president, blah, blah, blah. He's talking to some person and they're having a meeting. And Alice is pestering the shit out of these two men. And the guy turns around to Teddy Roosevelt and is like, can you control your daughter? And Teddy Roosevelt's response is, I can be president of the United States or I can attend to Alice. I cannot possibly do both.
Again, I will bring up the size of Teddy Roosevelt's testicles and remark on the fact that his daughter
Scared him to death?
Yeah, I was
has
working with a
somehow
pair of
conquered
titanium
him.
balls.
Yeah.
Titanium fucking 20-ton testicles. That's what is on this woman.
Yeah.
She, basically would spend most of her nights doing things that no
Woman of
normal-
class.
So it was said that she preferred to wear pants to dresses, which was
Amen,
not
brother.
something that happened at this time. And she also would continuously place bets with bookies and race cars down the DC streets.
I love
Goddamn
her.
right.
She was forbidden from smoking by her father under his roof,
But
so
did
she
it
climbed
anyways.
on.
Yeah.
Wait. So she climbed onto the White House roof.
Of
Wait.
course she did.
Wait, so her dad said, Alice, you cannot smoke.
You can't
And she
smoke
was like,
under my roof. And
Yeah.
she went, I'll smoke on it then.
On the-
yeah,
roof.
I'll smoke. You don't own the sky, Dad. Also, I don't believe in God. And then she flipped off the clouds.
Pretty much, she's just like sitting there on top of the White House, and her dad's like, "Get down from there, Alice! I told you not to smoke under my roof." And she's like, "I'm not on your roof." Takes one drag, and the whole cigarette turns to ash. Flips off her dad in the sky, and is like, "I'm gonna live forever."
I'm gonna live forever. She's like, paganism.
I mean, it's really sad that she didn't. I'll say that.
I know!
It's really sad that she didn't live forever.
You know, we don't know that. Honestly,
This is
we
true.
don't know what deals she made, like during her pagan rituals, which I hope she held in the rose garden.
Hey, wait, we're gonna get there.
Oh my God.
She kept a
story-
garter snake in her pocket at all times, called Emily Spinach.
What?
Wait. Emily Spinach?
Yes.
I
Okay.
love her.
Is there a reason given for why she named it Emily Spinach?
She
Nope.
doesn't need a
She
reason.
doesn't need a reason. She's Alice fucking Roosevelt.
Okay, fair. Go on.
She kind of gained this notoriety to the point where, well, her father was president. They had to hire a separate secretary. Wow, hold on.
Well, that was
They
a lot
needed
of
to hire a
S's.
separate. Right, yeah. They needed to hire a separate secretary just to handle the amount of fan mail this woman got to the fucking White House.
You know what? Half of those letters were me from the future sending them to the past. Like,
Imagine being the president of the United fucking States and your daughter gets more fan mail than you do.
Right?
Can you
Yeah.
imagine Teddy coming down and being like, "Hey, is there any mail for me?" And like the servant or whatever who's bringing it in has like this big fucking bag of mail. It's just like, "I'm sorry, sir. None of this is for you."
But for you, Glenn Coco.
It's the end of Miracle on 34th Street, except for it's just Alice Mail.
Yeah, Alice Mail, which was a name that they were going to give the United States Postal Service, but it was shut down.
It was shut down. So she ends up getting sent on this delegation to Asia.
Of course she
Basically,
does.
to be sent out of her father's hair. And she meets this congressman named Longworth, and she ends up getting married to him.
Wow, she settled down.
That honestly must have been one hell of a guy.
Okay,
so
I'm
no then. All right.
I'm
getting the
guessing he
feeling
wasn't
that it's
great.
A strong no.
She meets Longworth, gets married, cuts her wedding cake with a fucking sword.
Of course.
Where
As
did
one
she
does.
get it? You know what? I'm not going to question where she gets anything anymore. Was Emily Spinach at the wedding?
Maybe probably Emily Spinach the Fifth. I don't know how the lifespan of garter snakes.
I don't know
Probably
them
not
either.
super long.
But I'm guarantee Emily Spinach was just like, whoop, I'm around.
She got Emily.
Float around.
She got Emily Spinach the second to be her maid of honor.
I was gonna say, Emily Spinach ad number here, we lost count a long time ago, was the, maid of honor. And also the groomsman. All of it. She was
She was
all
the
Emily
flower girl,
Spinaches.
too.
It's just an entire bridal party of snakes. And so, I digress. The marriage lasted, but apparently had a bunch of infidelity on both sides. Everybody be cheating. I couldn't
Alice
remember what.
mostly, I bet.
Yeah. So I can't remember. I lost what she named her child that she had with the other person.
It
But
doesn't
apparently
matter.
it was a slight nod to who this person was.
Oh, are you talking about her daughter?
Was it her daughter?
Her daughter, Deborah? as in Deborah, because she
Yeah.
slept with a guy named William Bora.
Bora. Senator William Bora, so she even bore his child, and part of her brilliantly malicious sense of humor, she considered naming her daughter Deborah, a.k.a. Deborah.
What?
I love her so much!
So fucking
Oh
good.
my god.
Also, there is a reason for her snake being called Emily Spinach.
Oh,
I guess
enlighten
she named her Emily after her aunt, and then Spinach because it was green. That's the equivalent of like the way a child names like its
Anything.
first puppy.
But it's
Okay,
so
but, like,
good.
I will
It's
call
so
this-
Probably
good.
named the first one Emily Spinach and was like, it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
I need to look up. Hold on. I need to look up really quick the lifespan of a
garter
snake. I just need to know. I need to know if Emily Spinach was. Oh man, it's so. If you take good care of a garter snake, it reaches like 10 years old.
Oh man.
But usually it's in the wild. It's 4 to 5 years. So yeah, Emily Spinach, the first senior. Did not
Senior.
last. Yeah, did not last her whole life.
Yeah. So, definitely did not last her whole life. She probably had many of them. Always kept one in her pocket. But so, she continues to be a socialite and do whatever for her entire time. She was banned from the White House by Teddy Roosevelt's successor, William Howard Taft, because she buried a voodoo doll of Taft's wife in the front yard.
Wait, I'm just picturing, like, as soon as Teddy Roosevelt isn't president anymore, she's still showing up to the White House, and Taft is
Yeah.
like, dude, you don't live here anymore. And she's like, fuck you, Taft.
Fuck you, Taft.
If my dad can't control me, if God himself can't control me, you certainly will not.
Oh.
Also,
No.
then she shows him like the voodoo doll, and she's like, this will be somewhere in this house, and you'll never find it.
Yeah. No. The best part, it wasn't even hidden in the house. It was in the front yard. It was literally like he woke up at like one morning and looked outside on the fucking front lawn of the White House. I don't remember what it's called because I'm an idiot. But like you just see Alice Roosevelt with a shovel, just like, and like dead-eyed looks Taft in the fucking eyes, holds up a voodoo doll of his wife and just drops it in.
Drops it into
Like,
the hole
what are you gonna
that
do?
she's just dug. She's just like, who doesn't live here now, Taft?
Whose house is it now? It wasn't my daddy's house. It's not your house. It's my house.
It's my house. And he just backs slowly away from the window.
Somehow
And then she's
she
like,
still lives there now.
Oh.
and then she's like, come on, Emily Spinach, the 10th. Like, let's go.
Are there
yeah.
any other crazy facts about this woman's life or no?
I got two more, and then I'm gonna wrap up on Alice.
Okay.
One being that she was also immediately banned from the White House by the following president, Woodrow Wilson, after she said a slew of dirty jokes about him in public.
Oh my god, she just kept showing up to all of these presidents. And they were like, Alice, you do not live here.
I think the fact of the matter is that Alice showed up to the White House to confront all of these presidents, hoping that one day someone would be like, you want to have a pissing contest, Alice? And she could say, mine's bigger, I win.
Yup.
Oh my goodness.
Apparently, Jimmy Carter is the only president that she never met at the White House. That while she was alive, she actually refused to see him.
Oh, great.
Well, why? Like,
Why?
what did he do to offend her?
I don't remember what it was, but I think it was something she just like. It was really towards the end of her life, and she had breast cancer twice.
Oh, okay.
So
She-
but I definitely think it was out of spite. Like I know it was something.
She's
it
like,
couldn't have
every-
just been.
I feel like it had to be. I think
She's
like-
I think she lived her whole life out of spite.
spite.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but a perceived lack of social grace on the part of Jimmy Carter caused her to decline to ever meet him.
Oh, he was the one who lacked social
Basically,
grace.
like, oh, you're not good enough.
Oh, shit.
She's like, I don't even want to get banned by from the White House by you, okay?
I feel like that then becomes an annual event. It's like, oh, and the new president's inauguration, but this is what really matters. Now that he's been sworn into office, he is waiting on the front lawn for, and there she is, Miss Alice Roosevelt. And he's banned her. He's banned her from the White House.
All right,
we gave her another shot.
Now his term has officially started.
It's almost like Groundhog Day in a way. It's like he can't really be president until Alice Roosevelt comes by.
You ban Alice Roosevelt from the White House.
And he ceremoniously bans her from the White House.
Oh, I love it.
Sorry, Alice, you're not becoming president today. I was just sworn in, and Alice just looks at him and goes, "We'll see."
We'll see. The last Alice fact I'm going to throw out at you. And as I said, she did battle breast cancer twice. And she actually got 2 mastectomies. So in 1970, right after her second and final mastectomy, she declared herself Washington's only topless octogenarian.
Wow.
I'm like blown away by her.
Because she's a bad fucking bitch.
You've dropped a lot of cold hard facts on us tonight.
I have, and you know, because there was too much delicious, juicy American burger to stuff into this one thing. I couldn't just do one note and go. You needed everything. You did.
Yeah, no kidding. That's a badass.
That was really good. I honestly didn't know anything about her. Like, obviously, you hear about Teddy Roosevelt, right, and how badass he was.
I mean, the man rode a moose.
That's what I'm saying, but, like, I'm really happy that the apple actually became its own tree in this case.
And that's literally what it was. It's like Teddy Roosevelt was known for being this bravado and riding a fucking moose and getting shot and still delivering a 90-minute speech where he made fun of the guy for shooting him. Like, and to the point where I'm going to actually want to cover this in a later episode, but Teddy Roosevelt actually wrote to Woodrow Wilson at the beginning of World War I and was like, dude, let me storm the beaches. Like, and that's the stock that she came from. But you know what? She did her own thing, and I think that makes it so much more impressive to the point where, again, even her father was afraid of her at points.
Yeah, no kidding.
Beautiful.
Amen, brother.
Who wouldn't be afraid of her?
You know what? Or should I say amen, sister?
Amen,
amen, sister.
Roosevelt.
Amen, Alice Roosevelt. Damn, dude.
Oh. What about you, Megan?
I'm going to take a bite of this
Juicy
juicy burger. What?
I said, what about you, Megan? Do you have any juicy stories to tell?
So mine is definitely not jovial, guys. Like, we can't just... I guess we're going to jump from Alice Roosevelt, who had a charming garter snake named Emily Spinach, to
your really sad story.
Yeah, I guess.
So just like last week, we'll sandwich it. It'll be an up with like a Zach story, a down with you, and then I'll bring it right back around with a little bit of happiness.
Okay,
all right,
good.
come on, depress me.
I like that. Okay, so I'd like to start it off with this ominous sentence. Have you guys ever heard of Undark?
Undark?
Yeah, so
Nope.
Undark is what the U.S. Radium Corporation used to call radium. And let me just say that the U.S. Radium Corporation is like the most unoriginal supervillain conglomerate name I have ever heard.
I'm so ready for this. Like, you said it's going to be depressing, but I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, so it's pretty depressing, but back in the
Zach
day...
has a fear boner.
Don't we all? Back in the day, radium was used to produce like luminous paints and was marketed under the term Undark. So it glowed and it made things look really cool, and it was also used to make radioluminescent watches for the military. So, you know, like the cool glow-in-the-dark watches where they could like be under the cover of night and be like, all right, guys, it's like whatever the fuck military time is. But to...
She can't be bothered to figure out military time, so she's just like, whatever the fuck this time is.
Just add 12.
I know, it's just add 12, but let me tell you how bad at math I am.
How bad at math are you?
I have no joke for it, but it's really sad.
Oh, all right.
Anyway.
Fair
fair enough. But to make the watches, there needed to be factories, obviously, and the people who were usually in these factories were women. But the corporation, like, misled the ladies who worked here into believing that radium was safe, despite the owners of the factories and all the chemists who work there going in with like fucking lead suits and handling the radium with tongs, and they were like,
if you go to work and your employer is wearing a hazmat suit while telling you that you don't need one, you need to find a new place to work.
Why are you actually describing real life Vault Tech?
honestly though, like I kind of am.
It's okay. You'll be all right for the future.
For
Don't
the
worry about our
future.
lead suits.
Yeah, this is our business suit. This is what we wear to meetings. But it obviously wasn't safe. Like, it's radioactive. So what happened was they also told the girls, you're going to be working with like very fine watch dials, and I'm going to give you a really small brush. So what you do is you're going to have to put it in between your lips to make the hairs of the brush really fine, so you'll be able to do all this good detail work. And the girls thought it was safe, so they were like, okay, that sounds fine. And it wasn't fine because they were ingesting radioactive elements.
So they had him sucking on the world's worst radioactive lollipop.
I mean, pretty
But
much.
without
And they,
any of the flavor.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, hey, Matt, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a radioactive Tootsie Pop?
You
These
die
girls
of
will
cancer
never know.
before you.
you-
You die of cancer before you find out.
so they thought it was safe too, and like the worst part is it looked hella cool. So what they would do is paint their fingernails, their face, and their teeth with it too, and it would glow.
And then
So
it
they would
all
come home.
melted off.
Dude, like they were doing this, so they got paid by the dial. So they were doing like 250 dials a day, and each dial was 29 cents that they were making in now dollars.
29 now cents.
Yeah, 29 now dollar cents they were making per dial.
That's
Wow.
only $72.50.
Listen, dude, I'll trust your math, but like it was work, right? I told you,
She's
I'm
already
bad
said
at math.
she's really bad at math, Zach.
I'm
Why
already-
are you throwing
Don't-
it in her face?
Because I had to use my calculator thrice in order to make sure that my math was right.
Okay, I'm glad that you actually took out your calculator to do it. So they were making like dirt cheap money, and they were suffering from complications as they were ingesting more and more radium, like things
No
like
shit.
Yeah, no shit, right? So all of them started to get like anemia, bone fractures, and necrosis of the jaw, which they started to call radium jaw.
Oh, they had a
because-
fun little catchphrase for their
Yeah,
condition.
they had a word for it. So, you know, as bad as that was, the girls started going up to the companies being like, yo, I think something's wrong. Like, we all keep getting sick. And they kept going to the doctors, too. And the doctors who knew radium was poisonous were like, this is from radium. And the companies were like, yeah, but have you considered maybe it's like syphilis and that you're a whore?
Always blaming the victim.
Yeah, and like, oh my god, I like. First off, that sounds like something the company would do. Like,
Honestly,
we-
it sounds like something the company would do. Or companies now, right? Like Sir Jeff Bezos is over there being like, yeah, but like you're getting corona because, I don't know,
Is it
you're
syphilis?
poor? Is it syphilis? Is it?
When in doubt, blame syphilis.
When in doubt, blame syphilis. Honestly, it has so many symptoms. Like, what isn't syphilis at this point?
I really love the. I'm just picturing this like, excuse me, Mr. Boss Man. I have some symptoms that are strange. And he's like, well, thank you for coming to my office, Margaret. I did want to talk to you about how much dick you've been sucking. Also, if we turn the lights off, have you noticed that you glow?
That's pretty sexy. I can see why you're always riding the D.
Like, but here,
You're a human disco ball. We could market this to circuses.
like the other part that I'm also, and this is the really morbid sense of humor that I have. You say that, oh, we're going to talk about how much dick you've been sucking. How well can you suck dick if your entire jaw rots off?
Hey,
Yeah,
I'll
that's-
tell you this. No
that's the
teeth.
thing.
is better than some teeth.
You know
I can't
what?
imagine that no jaw is better than at least a little jaw, but
Well, that's
At least a little
counterintuitive
jaw.
at that point. Like you don't have. You need two. You need the two.
you need the two halves, you're right.
You need to have the
Last time
two
I
halves.
checked. Last time
The
I
lower
checked.
part of the jaw is important for giving blowies.
Yep. 100%. So, do you want to? So the last part of this story is eventually these girls got a lawyer to represent them. It took them 2 years to find a lawyer.
And by then,
Because-
half their faces had melted to the ground.
I mean, pretty much. So it took them 2 years to find this lawyer to take on like a big company, but then it took them even longer because a lot of the women couldn't even get out of bed to lift their arms to take
Because
the
they were
oath.
sucking so much dick.
I was gonna
that's
say
true.
they're actually Wicked Witch of the Westing it. I'm melting.
I like, dude, seriously. But and then they won. They won in the lower courts, and the
Yeah,
company
what are the
was just
chances of
like, what?
that? I said, what are the chances of that?
So yeah, they actually won, and they were like, hell yeah, they're gonna have to pay compensation. And then the company was like,
No, we're just
But
gonna
let's-
wait for you to die.
they're like, let's try another court. And then
Oh,
they appealed
Jesus.
it. And then they appealed it again. And then they took it to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court was just like, you have done this so many times. We refuse to hear the appeal. And ultimately, this case had to be won 8 times before the company paid any money.
Fuck.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
And by then, they had Wicked Witch of the Wested.
Seriously, at that point, it's like not even the original people who can do it. Like
We are now
how many-
wheeling into the court the remains of Margaret Thatcher. No, it can't be Margaret Thatcher.
No, it can't be Margaret
We are now we are now wheeling into the court the remains of Margaret something
Tannenbaum.
Simmons. Who knows?
Tannenbaum. There
What?
we go. I don't know.
Margaret Imbalm. I don't know.
Yeah. She is in a wheelbarrow because that's how we had to put her together.
Just it's soup in a fucking wine barrel at this point.
It's
Oh
soup.
my god.
It's soup.
It's human soup. Oh.
Oh my goodness, but did you notice if we shut the lights off, it glows?
Dude, like, I was blown away. And obviously, like, I'm blown away by the whole story of, like, oh my god, they were ingesting radium. But mostly I'm blown away by the big balls of these companies being like, yeah, but I don't know.
But are
I
their
just
balls
don't want to.
as big as Alice
They're not
Roosevelt's?
they're not as big as
Absolutely
Alice
not.
Roosevelt's because she had really good balls. These guys had like the awful balls, right?
So,
awful
what you're
balls.
saying is that these guys had small dick energy.
Small dick energy. They had big dick energy in that like they didn't give a fuck, but they had small dick energy because they were actually garbage.
Yeah, well, also, I will let you know that the name of this episode will be The Awful Balls.
The awful balls.
The awful balls.
The awful
have-
balls.
I have another question here about this. So, presumably, when these, upper business guys are going, could it be that you're a hooker?
Could it be that you're
I do wonder if any of these women were performing on their men and then, like, their penises started to degrade because of this.
My
yeah,
question
that's-
is, before the degrading, did they at least get lightsaber cock?
That's very important.
Yeah, like, I mean, Star Wars was not invented by now, but I would have been sitting there like,
Well,
Look at
So,
this!
like, it-
Look at this! It looks like a laser beam.
it looks like a laser
I sounded
beam.
so much like John Mulaney.
I was
just
gonna
then.
say, when did we turn it to John Mulaney?
But yeah, I wonder what the effects were of them tracking all this stuff home. Like, did it have sort of a ripple effect where,
I would imagine that it at least killed their animals, if not their children.
oh, do you want to know who else it killed?
Who?
The scientists who invented the radium dial paint.
Of course.
I mean,
He deserved it.
I don't know, dude. He seemed like an okay guy. I didn't do too much digging into him, but like, damn, killed by my own hand.
My own hubris, my own invention.
My own hubris, but like not
I was
intentional.
killed by my own invention.
I was killed by my own invention.
I think that caps off the mad scientist / evil corporation / what is it, like evil thing that goes off here. But I don't think the scientist is evil. I think it's the smarmy businessmen who are just like,
Yeah.
yes, how much money can we make?
Just like
Yeah, like how they
Frankenstein,
decided.
he was misunderstood.
Yeah.
The man who made this paint was so misunderstood.
He was like, guys, I made something cool and it glows. It's a little dangerous. And they're like,
I
fucking
imagine
hey.
that guy going to these business types and he's like, wait a minute, my invention is gross. And the business types just look at him and go, have you considered that you might be a whore?
See, that's much better than what I was gonna go with, which was he invents this thing, and then the next thing you know, he's waking up to ash and dust. Insert.
I
Terrible,
wipe my
terrible.
brow and I sweat my rust.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
I made
Those ladies
chemicals
were
for these women to breathe in.
Those chemicals.
Oh,
Whoa.
God. But yeah, that's probably the funniest but most awful thing to say to someone. I understand that you're dying. I understand that your jaw is literally falling off, but have you considered that you're a slut?
Have you considered being less of a slut?
Have you considered?
Again, and I think that's what makes this story, but also what makes it worse.
Now, Miss Merriweather, pick your jaw up off the floor.
Literally.
Literally, I was gonna say that.
I was just going to let
Literally.
it hang there so that the
No.
listeners could put that together for themselves.
Okay, but you
Please.
do realize you made an even worse pun by saying
Yeah.
you're just gonna let it hang there.
Yep. I mean,
was
it
just
would
like,
be if
I'm
she doesn't
aware
have a
of what
lower jaw.
He's like, I'm aware of what I did. And I don't
I know.
apologize.
I refuse to apologize.
But yeah, so that was my story. They're called the Radium Girls.
The Radium Girls. They sound like they could be a band.
I was
They
gonna
are
say,
a band.
honestly, it sounds like a fantastic.
Are they a band?
There is a band called the Radium Girls.
Zach, I
I love
need
it.
you to overlay. First of all, see if we're allowed to. Secondly, overlay a little bit of their music.
Hold up, let me go call the Radium Girls and see what I
Yeah.
can do.
Can you
For
call
all
them up?
we know, their jaws have fallen off.
Then it's just a bunch of bass and.
Yeah, they're
Basically,
they're, wait, maybe they're. Oh, here it is. Here it is. They're not a band. Maybe they are. So there's a New Jersey punk band called the Nightbirds who have a song titled "The Radium Girls," and then there is a Stage Illusion, where a female assistant in a large box is. What is it? Oh my god!
Submerged in radium, and then when she comes out, her jaw's on the floor.
So, yeah, it's like a penetration restorative type illusion where she's like put into a big box and she like a series of restraints is put on her, and then I think they like shove things into the box. And they're like, "Oh, look, she's unmarred." I don't know why that's called the Radium Girl though.
Yeah, me neither, based on that description.
Guys,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
there is a band called Radium Girls, and you know
Yes.
do you know where they're based out of?
Where?
Boston.
Of course.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Oh,
go call
yeah.
them up. I'm gonna go down the street and knock on the door with my face mask and 6 feet apart because social distancing, and be
Yeah.
like, "Yo, can we use your music, Radium Girls?"
Can you
Hey,
do it responsibly?
Do you mind if we use clips?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna send them a message.
That would be
wonder if
dope.
they're-
If we could get the Radium Girls to sign off on us using like
Yeah.
a 5-second bit of their track.
Yeah. Also, they made a movie about those
This is great. What's the name
Yeah,
of the movie?
they did. Radium
in
Girls.
2018.
2018.
Yeah, they did.
That's recent.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Joey King was in it. Abby Quinn, Colby Minifie, Olivia Maculin.
Did it get jaw-dropping results?
Oh my god, please.
I was gonna give that an answer, and now I don't want to. I just don't.
I think on that one, that was my depressing story. Like, what's yours? What's your happy one?
Yeah,
I mean,
we need to get some happiness.
All right. Buckle up, kids.
I'm buckled.
Oh, buckled.
Y'all have heard of Julius Caesar?
Yes.
Famous for his salad.
Yes.
The introduction of the Julian calendar, and
Yes. Go on.
the stabbings, which ended his life.
Who can forget?
But
wait, before you continue, can I just give one terrible, terrible thing?
dude, look, I was in the
Yes.
middle of a monologue, and you totally just cut my penis off. But sure.
I was just gonna say that I knew a guy who had a jewel, and he named it Julius Caesar.
I hate you. I hate.
That's for all the jaw puns, okay?
I hate that.
That's pretty good.
I hate that I was interrupted, so
That's a
that
little
could be
cute.
slapped in the face of me.
I don't know. I think that's on level with Emily Spinach. Like, he always has Julius Caesar.
Julius
Caesar in his pocket.
Caesar.
I was reading something on the internet the other day that said the person who fucked up so that October, November, and December weren't the 8th, 9th, and 10th months of the year deserved to be stabbed. And someone had replied to that story with, "I have great news."
I have good tidings for you.
So anyways, getting back on track, Julius Caesar is famous for a number of things. But have you guys ever heard the story of the time that he was a pirate king?
Please go on.
Okay.
Please. I'm waiting here with such bated breath.
So when Julius Caesar was 25 years of age, he was sailing across the Aegean Sea, or on the Aegean Sea, and he was abducted by pirates from Sicily. And when they abducted him, they asked for a ransom of 20 talents of silver, which is the equivalent of like 620 kilograms of silver. And in today's market, it's like somewhere upwards of $500,000.
Oh, is that all? And today money.
Yeah.
Thanks,
today
because I couldn't do
dollars.
the math. I did not want to do that math.
In today money.
And today money.
So Caesar, who wasn't even a prominent figure at all at this point, but I'm sure he had delusions of grandeur, even in his youth.
Even in his youth, he knew he would be stabbed one day for his hubris.
Yeah, he would be stabbed for inventing the worst salad ever. Let's pretend that's why he got stabbed. Anyways,
They're like, Caesar, stop. No one is ever going to like this. And they're like, you don't know, man.
Man.
I'm going to name the lettuce romaine lettuce because we grow it here in Rome. That's clever as shit.
So anyways, hearing that they were offering him or offering him up for a ransom of 20 talents, Caesar apparently laughed in the faces of these pirates and demanded that they doubled with extra the ransom to 50 talents, which is apparently close to 1,550 kilograms of silver.
Oh. Okay, what's that in today money? Today dollars?
It would be more than $1 million. And he claimed that 20 talents of silver was not nearly enough.
Can you
his
imagine
head.
being like, listen, I am worth way more than what you are demanding, and I deserve to be appraised appropriately.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
See,
take him to fucking Rick at Pawn Stars, and it's like, best I can do is 20 talents. And Caesar's like, do you know who I am? Nobody yet, but soon I'll be like...
Nobody right now.
But soon I'll be worth 50 talents.
I'm more imagining it's like the scene from Austin Powers, where what was the original amount?
20?
What
Wasn't
was
the
it,
original
20
amount?
talents?
20 talents
Yeah,
of silver?
he's just like, what is it, 20 talons? And then Julius Caesar just like leans in and is like, that's not.
That's not a lot of money.
You know that's
right?
a lot of money. And the pirates are like, well then, 50 talons.
And Caesar just looks at them and he nods. He's like, yeah, that's a good one.
That's
so, the pirates, obviously, being fine with getting more money for this guy, nodded in agreement, and they were like, make it so, number 2. So Caesar sent a lot of his associates off to get the ransom money, which took a good number of days.
Well, yeah, it's not exactly like they could Venmo it.
Yeah, no, like, imagine how
ancient
quickly this
Venmo.
story would be over if Caesar just Venmo'd 50
Yeah,
talents of silver.
so Rome Venmo'd the pirates, and Caesar came home. The end.
Yeah.
Caesar came home, the end. Everything was a lot faster in the past before the Dark Ages.
So the best part about this story, though, is not Caesar upping the price, but it's what he did while he was in captivity. And I say captivity with the loosest definition of captivity because Caesar fucking ran this pirate crew while he was... I mean, so they remained on the island where they were holding him prisoner. But during his time, he refused to be put in a cage.
Okay.
He insisted that the pirates treat him like an equal. He treated all of the pirates like they were his servants.
Okay, same though. I get captured and I'm like, listen, I run this bitch.
So what I'm understanding is,
Yeah.
as much as I want to name this episode Nasty Balls, it's really the episode about Big Dick Energy. It's the BDE episode.
It's the BDE
I
episode.
can't believe
because
that on episode 3 we're already at BDE, but like...
I think that just shows that we have Big Dick Energy.
But go off, sis. So anyways, he even went so far as to demand that these pirates be silent while he was attempting sleep.
yeah.
He would
up.
he would recite poetry, participate in their exercises, and act as though he was not a prisoner. And he pretty much had run of the island that they were on.
What?
He
Like,
basically
is he-
got to go anywhere he wanted on the island and like write speeches and read poetry and do whatever while he waited for this money to be flown in, like by helicopter.
Dude was just
basically.
living his best life.
He's living his best life while in
like, wow, this-
captivity.
I
This
really needed
this
a
sort
vacation.
of reminds me of this kind of reminds me of Escobar building his own prison, but that's a story for another time. So anyways, so yeah, he has the run of this entire fucking island while they're waiting for his money to come back. And then the pirates saw the big balls on Julius Caesar and decided that they really liked him. So they just, let him gallivant around the island. But Caesar wasn't really a huge fan of being held captive, as you wouldn't be.
Yeah.
He said...
He got to do whatever the fuck he wanted.
Right,
what do you
right.
mean?
But I mean, like, imagine all the bitches he could have been fucking in Rome, and he
You're
was
right.
stuck with a bunch of men on this
You're
island.
right.
Well,
I
I was
mean,
gonna say, are
to
the
be fair, he
pirate
could have been
bitches not good
fucking men
enough?
in Rome too. We really don't know much about Caesar.
we don't know, but also they were limiting him.
Yeah, no, like he's like, I've torn through this island 10 times.
So I've destroyed it, honestly.
So what you're saying is none of them really passed the butt exam or the butt equation from last week.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
he
yeah,
did
yeah.
the math.
No,
He did the math, and he was like, unsatisfactory. Bring me back to Rome. And they were like, no, Caesar, you're still a captive. And he was like,
No, you don't understand.
What?
Michelangelo made a statue that you can bounce a quarter off his ass. I need men like that.
and then they were like, who's Michelangelo? And he's like, he was just
Exactly.
like, I can see into the future with my big dick energy. Don't worry.
You don't understand. So, anyways, because he was generally unhappy with the lack of vagine on this, well, that's probably not the actual reason. I'd imagine that being captive on an island full of pirates is just undesirable in general.
Well, it was probably part of it.
But
So,
also
like I
lack of
said,
regime.
He did.
Yeah.
He did say that as soon as the ransom was paid and he was free, he was going to hunt these pirates down and he was going to crucify them all. You know, it's one of those things. It struck me as like a note of Dread Pirate Roberts. It's like, good job,
I was about
Wesley.
to say.
I'll probably kill you in the morning. But,
Good night,
And they
good
were
work.
like-
I'll most likely kill you in the morning.
right.
They were like, "Oh, Caesar, what a good pal you are. We've become such good friends while we've had you captive here."
I'm going to crucify you. So
That's
yeah,
so funny.
his associates return with the 50 talents, and true to his word,
Oh, fuck.
he
Oh, no.
goes home,
Okay, goes home.
summons a small fleet, despite the fact that he is not a person of like prominence yet. And I mean, he might be prominent, but he's not the Caesar.
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, he's probably part of
He's a
like
fledgling Caesar.
he's like part
Little
of
baby
an
Caesar.
upper class. Like he knows some people. He calls in some favors.
Yeah. So, the pirates made his job easy, though, because he assembles this small fleet and he returns to the island where he had been held captive, and they
never
hadn't
left? What?
So,
A man says, "I'm coming back and I will crucify you," and they
Okay.
were just like, "Okay."
you don't understand just how much he had endeared himself to this whole crew, though. They thought he was joking.
But here's the thing. This is the equivalent of Liam Neeson picking up the fucking phone and saying, I don't know who you are and I don't know what you want. But I can tell you I have a particular... I don't have any money, but I do have a particular set of skills.
I don't have any money. But
And the bitch is on the other end of the phone going,
Good luck.
sounds cool, dude. We're at 44th
Except-
and
But-
3rd.
Yeah, but
except
what's
the
really,
bitches on the other end of the phone are like, "I'm so glad that we became such good friends. Your
Yeah.
jokes are always so funny."
Yeah, but it was
Liam, you're so funny.
It was even better because it was Liam Neeson picking up the phone and going, I have a fuckload of money, but also I have a very particular set of skills that make me a danger to people like you, and that's a cross. So I'm going to
And
nail
a
you
lot
to
of
it if
nails.
that's cool. So he comes back. He doesn't kidnap. He arrests all these pirates.
Arrests.
He takes back
Yeah.
his 50 talents and all of their possessions. And then he, true to his word, he delivers his pirate captives to prison. And he's like, I demand that these people be crucified. And they were like, eh. And so he's like, fuck it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this up a ladder notch here. He goes and he finds the proconsul of Asia,
What?
and he petitions the proconsul to have these pirates executed. And the guy's like, no, we're going to sell them as slaves. And Caesar's like, no, I made a promise to these gentlemen.
I
am
made a
going
promise.
to crucify them.
I made a
So
threat.
that's exactly what I'm going to do. So he travels back to where these men are being imprisoned.
And they, what?
And they didn't stop him. Yeah, no. He's like, you know what? I'm just going to get on my horse. I'm going to go back. But trust me, everything will be fine.
Everything will be fine. Definitely listening to you. They're slaves 100%. I just want to go say bye. I made such good friends.
They were such
here.
good friends. I do,
Good friends I want to crucify, but
Good friends want to
nonetheless.
crucify them.
yeah.
Want to crucify them. Don't get me
Hey,
wrong.
let
Just going
let
to
me
say
clarify.
goodbye.
Still want to crucify them, but you said no, so I'm just going to give them kisses on the cheek, and we'll be best friends. So
We'll call it square.
there's an amazing there's a twist at the end of this story.
Okay, please.
Twist and
Can
shout.
you guys? I want to give you guys a chance to guess.
Oh my god. My twist is because if I was Caesar and I had that much fuck you money, because I'm assuming if he's getting 50 talents, he can get some more fuck you money. I'd buy them all as slaves and crucify them myself.
You're close.
Oh God,
yes.
that's so good.
Caesar and I are on a
Megan,
level
what's
that's
your
petty
guess?
enough.
I think he just breaks into the prison, dude, and I think he just crucifies them. I think crucifixion is always gonna be how this ends.
You know what's funny?
What?
Caesar actually decided to be lenient.
What?
He
What?
slit their throats.
Oh.
At least he did it himself, you know.
I imagine like the ball. Okay, so the ball's on this guy, but he like walks into the prison and he's like, no, I'm just gonna give my dear friends a kiss, and then he's like with a knife across their necks. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
done here. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Don't look in those
Now I'm gonna go
cells.
conquer the world.
Yoo-hoo, big
Bye.
summer blowout. Like,
Big summer blowout.
big summer blowout of your necks. Like,
Yeah.
fuck.
So who didn't know that story?
So I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I know we talked about it before, but it's one of those stories that like I don't remember if we talked about the end where he slit all
We
their throats.
didn't.
Because
No.
I didn't think so.
Well,
Because
that's because
I-
you guys made the mistake of telling me that we were going to do a history podcast. And I was like, you know what would be a really nice twist is if I don't tell them how the story ends and then reveal it on a history podcast months later.
So like
Damn you.
honestly that was as you had as much foresight as Julius Caesar knowing Michelangelo was going to be a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
With them big round booties.
With them big round booties. But
What's that
yeah,
gonna
I
do
remember
with that big fat
you
butt?
had told us
Wiggle with it.
Julius Caesar decided to make friends with pirates and essentially was just a baller about it, but I had no idea about the end.
Yeah, dude.
I think the end is definitely what made it in
Oh, for
a,
sure.
a certain way. But I remember talking about this, and I know that this story kind of was the impetus for what the fuck history. But it never gets old. Like, you could call me up in 2 months and tell me that story, and I'd still be on the edge of my seat being like, Caesar, you
Then what
bad
happened?
motherfucker.
Then what
Yeah,
happened?
like then what happened?
Happened?
So I don't know if you said this at the beginning, but
Sure.
how old was he
25.
when oh my
Damn.
god.
He was
So he's my
25 years
age,
young.
and he's just like, I'm a cut a bitch.
I'm gonna cut a bitch. And then he just started dancing out.
Yeah, basically. He
Just
was,
he moonwalks out of the prison.
he was Christian Bale in American Psycho.
At what age did he actually become emperor?
That's a good question. I figured you would know because you have a degree in this.
I told you.
I'm also, now that you said Christian Bale in American Psycho, I'm just imagining him like fucking stabbing all these pirates and being like, try involving me in your pirate games now, bitch.
Okay, so he was dictator of the Roman Republic from 49 BC to 44 BC.
Yeah.
With only 5
right.
years?
Well, he was in office for, so he was consul of the Roman Republic from, it looks like he was in office in 44 for 3 months with Mark Antony, so January to March, I guess. Then he was in office 46 to 45, 48 to 47, 59 to 58. So he was in office for a while.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so he had political leanings for a bit, but this happened in 75 BC. So he was
first
just like,
takes
this'll launch my political career.
Yeah, and he first takes office in 59, it looks like.
Gotcha.
So
But-
we
this
have
was a while beforehand.
we have a little bit to go before we cap this out at like a full hour. Does anybody want to talk about our today in history a little bit?
Oh my god, dude. Like, the fact that he, like, what was his heresy?
Yeah, that's my
So
big question.
so I did a little bit of research.
Yeah,
On this
because
guy?
you're the one who sent this, too, and I saw it the other day, and I was like, damn, dude, what an ironic way to go.
So the heresy that I found, anyways, is basically that he was a Protestant.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The funniest thing about
So wait. Let me get this right. It was you're Christian, but they're not the kind of Christian that we like. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
basically.
kill you.
the funniest
No,
thing to
not
me
that
though,
flavor.
Yeah. The funniest thing to me though was that so as we mentioned in our Today in History segment, he is the translator of the New Testament. However, a lot of the stuff that I read about him is that he basically wrote his own version.
He's like, I'm gonna write my own fan fiction. How does that sound?
He basically so that's another part of like his accusation of heresy, is that someone basically looked at like what he wrote and was like, wait a minute, that's not right.
I was gonna say someone realized that he made Jesus and Judas gay lovers, and they were like, "That's not right."
He was like, so this is my slash fic. If you could publish this, that would mean so much to me.
But then the thing
you.
is, they went on to use his version.
Well, so that's like writing when you pass an essay and the teacher only reads the first paragraph, so
Yeah.
you only make the first paragraph really good,
I
and
had a
then you
teacher
go
like
off
that in
the
college.
yeah, dude, you go off the rails in the middle, and then you get in the conclusion you make normal again, which
Yeah.
I think would be pretty hard in the New Testament, considering Revelations is like buck wild.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Revelations is.
It's a lot, but like in the middle, he's just like, and then Judas, went up to Jesus and kissed him on the cheek, and then he moved in a little bit more, and he couldn't help himself. He went full lip.
And then you get the one guy who actually read it, and that's how they know.
Yeah,
That's how they know it's not. It's just a fanfic.
That one guy goes up to his like local church, and he's like, "Father, have you read the new Bible?"
And the father's like, "We're Christians. We only read what we want to read."
And he's like, "No, Father, you have to finish."
But how
this
can we
Bi-"
just take the excerpts of what makes us feel better about ourselves?
And he's just like, "Father, they're Jesus and Judas."
Oh no! Oh no!
And he's like, "This makes me very uncomfortable because maybe I'm a little gay, but it's also the 1500s, and this is not acceptable."
As much fun as this slash fic theory is, it's basically because he made a more Protestant Bible.
Okay, this is a little more
well,
lame. Also,
Sorry to cut you guys off at the knees, but like,
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but also I can see how that'd be a big no.
but what I love more than his act of heresy being like a Jesus Judas slash fic is the fact that he was strangled and burned at the stake. So I'd imagine that the point of burning someone at the stake is to make them suffer. However,
Yeah, but was he already strangled?
he got strangled while he was bound to the stake, and then he was lit on fire. Which makes the burning at the stake almost like
overkill.
Overkill?
yeah, like, were you planning to eat him later? Like, I don't understand why you would do that.
Burning and strangulation. Bet you can't have just one, which is now a new card against humanity. But
Oh, let me call them up real quick. Maybe they'll sponsor
Yeah.
the episode.
Okay,
if you can get
if
in
you're
touch with the
called-
Radium Girls, you can definitely get in
Yeah.
touch with Cards Against Humanity.
call them
will
after the
try.
Radium Girls, because the Radium Girls right now are more important to me.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Cards Against Humanity. The Radium Girls are a little more important to us.
Listen, I know what the Radium Girls look like. I don't know what the people who created Cards Against Humanity look like. So,
Probably similar to the idiots who make this podcast.
oh
Just
my god.
saying. Maybe
Then I
we
hope-
are the people who also make Cards Against Humanity. That's my
So,
standing.
like, what I
They're
don't
hella hot
understand
then.
is why they ended up using his version, though, because everything that I've read as far as, like, research on this guy goes says that he was, like, a so-so scholar. He hated the church, and he would, like, insult clergy and the Pope So I don't get. I just don't get.
If he was a so-so scholar, he probably not only read the more Protestant version of the Bible, but he also probably made the one with pictures that the illiterates at that time could read. Like, he probably made a more dumbed-down version that a lot more people could actually understand. So the Catholic Church was like, we're going to burn the guy, but also going to use his shit so we can spread our word more, you know?
Well,
Jesus
it looks
saves.
like it looks like there were a bunch of partial translations.
Yeah.
Partial English translations that had been made from the 7th century and onwards, but his looks like it was sort of the first one that was drawing directly from the Hebrew and Greek text, and then the first one to take advantage of the printing press. So, like, he just took advantage of getting it out there as fast as possible, and also, like, having a completed work right here, right now.
Okay, so it was less that the Catholic Church wanted to use his stuff. It's more of that, while he was being strangled and burned, he did 2 middle fingers and said, technology, bitches.
Yeah, he was like, I am the future. And and then he started yeeting his book into every church and open door he could find.
You there, little boy, while I'm being strangled, take this book. Learn from it.
His dying prayer was that the King of England's eyes would be opened.
He hands a book off, and while he's burning, just dabs.
Damn,
Jesus
dude.
Christ.
Damn, dude.
But I think that just about does it for us here tonight. Any final words from you guys?
Stay tuned next time, because I have a lot more stories that I found researching my story tonight.
I hope they're all just as sad as this one is.
God,
Just
dude,
sad,
I gotta
so
find
imagine.
some happier ones.
Yeah, we'll sprinkle them in here and there. Zach, anything
try.
else from you?
No, I mean, I don't know what else to follow up with. I think... I don't think there's anything else to say.
Well, I've got something to say. What the fuck, history?
We'd like to give a quick shout out to the Radium Girls, the band we mentioned earlier on in the podcast. We actually were able to reach out to them, and they were really cool about letting us use one of their songs, which you're going to hear at the end of the episode. The song is called Spaceadelic Love Storm. You can find the Radium Girls at Radium Girls Boston on Facebook or on their Bandcamp. I just want to thank them once again for being really cool about it, and I hope you folks enjoyed the show.